The warmongering machine on Capitol Hill has gone to 11. We now have a joint resolution before the Senate. It's in committee that will, quote, to authorize the use of United States armed forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of... Sorry, that lie caught in my throat. Use the United States Armed Forces against the Islamic Republic for threatening the national security of the United States through the development of nuclear weapons. Man, that's hard to say. That's wow, that's full of it. Yeah, because, you know, Iran's like threatening us here in the U.S. Anyway, this is basically a declaration of war against Iran, and it is now on the floor of the Senate. Senator Graham is keeping in character with what he normally does, which is instigate as many wars as possible anywhere. There wasn't a use of force in the world that Senator Graham has ever voted against, I swear. And he has always been on the forefront of attacking Iraq, invading Iraq, invading Afghanistan. I mean, he's just always been right there for the last like 30 plus years or whatever. Senator Graham is just, he's a piece of work. He's a piece of work, and he is owned completely by the military-industrial complex. So is it any surprise he's doing this? No. But is this gaining traction in Congress? And the answer is maybe. Now, while it says it's all about the nuclear weapons development, the trigger is if they attack Israel, which they probably will. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, but we keep up to date with what's going on around the world and call out the people who are lying to us. So think of it as like a conservative fact checker, right? Okay, so Senator Graham wants us to believe that Iran is a clear and present danger to the United States. Not only that, but that it will be a good idea for us to use force against them. Now, that's a sanitized language. We want to go to war against Iran, and there's only one way to win against Iran, and that is boots on the ground. So that's what we're really talking about here ultimately. And invading Iran has always been like, that's not really possible. I mean, it's possible, but it would be extremely, I mean, we would have to mobilize our economy. We'd have to mobilize the United States. We'd have to enact the draft. We would have to build lots and lots of weapons. It would have to be not up to a World War II type full mobilization, but it would need to be a pretty sizable mobilization for us to take out Iran. It's a mountainous country, and it's not like Afghanistan. It would be much, much worse than Afghanistan, okay? They have much more military power. They have a much larger population. It's a big deal. Now, we've been saying for years, it's not really possible to go to war with Iran. Not a great idea. We can't do it. Now, we used to, thanks to Senator Graham, have troops in Afghanistan along Iran's border. We used to have troops in Iraq along Iran's border. We were set up in the best possible case for invasion. Do we have troops in Afghanistan anymore? No, we do not. We don't have any troops there anymore. We can't stage an invasion from their eastern flank. We can't stage an invasion from their western flank through Iraq because we don't have troops there. They have troops there, but we do not. So what are we going to do? Amphibious assault on the southern underbelly of Iran? Hit the coastal plain? Not such a great idea. Now, I think he's probably talking about let's use our Air Force and air power to destroy their oil facilities, take out all of their oil facilities, and then basically kind of choke them. But if we do that, Iran will almost certainly attack our allies in the region, attack the other Gulf states, attack Saudi Arabia, attack UAE, attack U.S. forces in the region and everything like that. Quite frankly, they could reach out and cause a lot more harm to us and our allies than we could to them. Now, the big trigger here is that if Iran attacks Israel, and Iran has already said, we will attack Israel because they attacked us. Now, Did Israel attack Iran? Well, I mean, Israel hasn't claimed responsibility for the mattress bomb over there, but, you know, everyone kind of knows it was probably Israel, right? But Israel's just kind of, you know, things happen. Mattresses explode every so often. It happens. You know, maybe you wake up with the head of a horse in your bed with you. I mean, these kind of things happen, you know. Well, Iran is definitely pinning this on Israel and is saying that they will do a massive response. We've already heard from some of the channels associated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard that they are planning on a sustained skirmish with Israel. And it will take 3 or more days, is what they're saying. Is that reliable? I don't know. But Israel itself is saying that it expects the attack from Iran to be, quote, much more aggressive and significant than the one back in April. They launched a wave of several hundred drones and missiles against Israel, and Israel and the United States, Jordan, and everyone else shot down most of them. A couple of them landed in the desert. One actually hit a person. A child was hit, but other than that, by and large, the missile attack was basically a big nothing burger. Now, some people have said that that was them just that they were just doing a show of force. I don't think that's the case. I think they really did try. I think it was a real legitimate attempt, and I think it was absolutely humiliating to them to have most of their missiles and everything like that shot down. The United States went out there and said it's a tremendous victory for Israel, which, you know, if you block somebody's punch, I don't know if that's a tremendous victory when they're winding up to hit you again. But that's what's going to happen here. I believe Iran is going to try to make their attack much more effective, much more damage on Israel. And Israel has already said that if a major attack on Israel happens and it causes significant damage to infrastructure or to people, that they will go to war with Iran. And there, lo and behold, is the war resolution in the Senate of the United States, prepared to bring the United States into the war as well. Basically, the idea is if Israel declares war, the United States will declare war. Are you paying attention yet, folks? We are being dragged into the war. And what happens if we declare war on Iran? What do you think Russia's going to do? Chances of Russia saying we're going to declare war in support of Iran. And if Russia declares war, then that means North Korea is in the war too. And China's going to have to think about whether it wants to get involved or not. But with everybody else busy over in the Persian Gulf and everything like that, they're going to be looking at Taiwan like a dog who's looking at a steak, okay? They're going to be like, well, time to just kind of grab that. So that will effectively bring them into the war because at that point, the United States is going to be seeing red and anyone who's not for us is against us. And so therefore, if China does something, then we'll declare war on them. And then China's going to be like, well, we're at war with the United States, and Russia, you're at war with the United States. Might as well all be in it together. European Union will probably be like, okay, I guess we're in this too. The Gulf states will probably be like, okay, we're in it too, I guess, because we're already here and there's already things happen. Some of these countries will decide that they want to stay neutral, and that will probably happen, but a bunch of them are probably going to get on board. Saudi Arabia is probably going to jump on board. UAE will probably jump on board. Some of the Qatar. Ever since I heard somebody mispronounce it like that, and it sounded cool, Qatar, that's the mispronunciation of Qatar. I was saying it right all along. Who would have thunk it? Anyway, so Qatar will probably jump on. Bahrain has a major U.S. military presence there. These we're looking at basically over the next 24 to 48 hours still. Iran's a little bit late on this attack, but I don't think they're going to wait much longer. Probably in the next day, we will see that attack materialize. They are moving missiles around inside Lebanon. We saw Iraq's Hezbollah has done a full mobilization of its forces. They seem to be anticipating that there's going to be a major conflict. So it looks like they're getting their ducks in a row. They're getting all their forces mobilized. They're moving more sophisticated missiles around inside Lebanon. Hezbollah is moving more accurate guided missiles. They've been launching junk at Israel basically to deplete the Iron Dome, but they are now moving more sophisticated missiles we've seen to the front, and they're preparing to use them. Now, they said that was in case Israel invades them, but I think that might be moving them for this counterattack. And if they launch a lot more faster cruise missile type missiles that will be harder for the Iron Dome to intercept, more anti-tank missiles and such like that, this could be a very devastating response that they have, and it could generate the type of reaction from the United States and Israel and other countries that will be the spark of World War III. So this Hamas guy that got onto his mattress, his incandescent mattress, might have been the instigator of World War III, might be the flashpoint that drags us all into this thing, because we have alliances all over the place that will potentially pull us all in. So that's what might happen in the next couple of days, and be aware of what may happen in the Senate. They may move this thing through very quickly, because you got conservative Republicans who will probably be on board with defending Israel. There'll be a few liberal senators that don't want to go on board with this, but there'll probably be the centrist liberals and Democrats and Republicans that are for war. They're owned by the military-industrial complex. I would not be surprised if this bill gets out of committee real fast, onto the floor, gets passed, and kicked over to the House for approval, and it very well may be approved there relatively quickly and on the president's desk within 24 to 48 hours there too. They could move it that fast. Bills have moved that fast when there is consensus. So friends, this is a major deal out there, and it is getting worse. We've been warning you about this, that, you know, some of you are like, well, why do you keep talking about Israel and everything like that? Because we very well could be dragged into a war with Iran and de facto Russia because of this. And we're right on the verge of it. Hopefully cooler heads prevail. Hopefully cooler heads will see the attack on Israel and say, we need to escalate against Iran and Iran's proxies over there. Maybe the United States starts doing airstrikes on Hezbollah. I don't know. But attacking, like they're talking about right now, they're talking about taking out Iran's refineries and oil facilities along the coast of Iran. If we went in there and just wiped out their oil rigs, wiped out their oil refineries, that would be a devastating blow to Iran, but it would also infuriate Iran like we have never seen them infuriated before. They talk crazy talk, okay? And they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff across the Middle East. But I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, the Ayatollah and all his friends like being rich. They like being powerful and rich, and this would destabilize them and humiliate them and take away their wealth all in the same blow. They will almost certainly respond like a rabid dog. And they may not be able to do that much, but they will try to break everything in their path around the world that will hurt the United States. And if you think the Strait of Hormuz will stay open, you are dead wrong. If we attack those oil facilities, or if Israel attacks those oil facilities along the coast of the Persian Gulf, they will almost certainly shut down the Strait of Hormuz to all oil traffic, and that's going to be a problem. They're also probably going to get their Houthi allies to try to attack the pipeline going across Saudi Arabia as well. They will try to cut off and choke out the oil of the world, and a large portion of the oil of the world comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Russia would benefit tremendously from this. The oil price would go through the roof. They would make tons of money. Iran would still be producing enough oil to make some big bank off of this. And also, we see that China has been preparing for this very scenario with a massive amount of oil stockpiled. Their strategic petroleum reserve is at record levels, and they keep building tanks and filling them up as soon as they get them built. whereas the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve is more empty than it has been since the 70s. Okay, we've brought a few million barrels back into it, but we're basically at half strength on the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The Biden administration has drained it, and we are left vulnerable to this type of attack. Oil prices could double within the next week. That's a very real possibility. I've warned you about that, and I'm telling you that that is a distinct possibility. All right, friends, we'll keep you updated on what happens as it happens. Any kind of peep out of the Middle East when it comes to this this strike on Israel, we'll let you know as soon as possible, and we'll let you know what kind of ending response is. But I can't imagine that Israel is not sitting down at the draft table going, okay, if they do this, what are we going to do? If they do this, what are we going to do? And Israel is preparing for those scenarios. If they're going to hit the oil refineries along the coast of the Persian Gulf, I wouldn't be surprised if an Israeli submarine is already headed that way to effect that if necessary. And they may use nuclear weapons. That's a possibility as well. All right, friends. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.